Pretty excited for this upcoming season. I think that we filled in the holes that we lost, and I feel like we're going to be a lot better than people expect us to be. It's really exciting. I've seen the team grow a lot this year. There's a lot of stuff that we've worked on, kind of switch some things up, and I think we're going to be a lot better than people think. So,
Well, start with you since you're also shifting weights. What's the off season been like in you getting your weight under control and being able to manage it heading into the season?
it's definitely different from last year, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it'd be. I just got on my diet and stuck to it, and it's honestly just kind of came off. I feel good. I think it's added more discipline to me, and it's just kind of created a path for me to wrestle at a better weight.
When you look at last year, you kind of burst on the scene to a lot of people that may not be familiar with the program with the win over Clay Lout. But how much did that really kind of kickstart your season, or is it something that you feel like was something you expected to do, and you were just that was just how you were going to wrestle all year?
Uh, I mean, I don't know. I was definitely nervous at first starting a D1 is definitely something different. I didn't quite believe in myself at first, and then after I started wrestling, I was like, this really isn't that big of a deal. All I gotta do is just go out there and wrestle. So, something I've been doing my entire life. If you make it simple, it's not very hard. You just gotta kind of go out there, wrestle, do what you know how to do, and it'll turn out how it's supposed to.
A lot of your teammates are from down there and down south, and you being from Alabama, where there's not that many Division I All Americans that have come out historically. But what do you carry in terms of the flag for the state of Alabama when you step out on the mat, not just for App State, but your home state as well?
So back home at our club, went to Warrior Wrestling Club, and our coach's name was always put Alabama on the map. So anytime we went anywhere for any tournament, whatever it was always just put a name out there for Alabama and let them know that like we're coming and to like you have a kid in the Alabama side, like it's not going to be an easy match. Like you're gonna have to fight for like just put ourselves out there and let them know who we are.
Now going into your second full season in the starting lineup, expectations are a little bit different. High school coaches always say it's that second year mat time where you see the biggest jump at the high school level. How much do you think you're going to improve this season from last?
I think a lot, honestly. I've been there. I've kind of know what it's about now. I think I have a lot of experience and a lot of stuff I've learned from. There's a couple things I got to fine tune, and I'm really excited for this season just because I have that experience under my belt, and I'm going to be prepared for these big time matches and stuff like that.
Any team on the schedule you're looking forward to wrestling the most?
Treat all of them the same. They're all going to be the same.
Hey Will, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. So you made the switch from 174 to 165. What went into that decision? Why'd you make it?
I kind of talked to Coach Bentley or he talked to me after U23s, and we kind of both decided that I was too small for 174. Like I didn't cut any weight last year. Like I was way undersized and just kind of needed to change it up, and it kind of made it better for our lineup. So that drop was a good thing for me and the team.
What's the preparation been like? Is the training different, or are you treating it the exact same?
I'm treating it the exact same. Change anything is when you mess up.
True, true, true. You spoke or Jason asked if you were circling any matchup. You went out, you beat, former national champion, I believe, or All American. I apologize. At North Carolina, are you focusing on doing that again, or just treating everyone that you face the exact same?
Just treat them all the same. Like I said, if you change it up, that's when you mess up.
Obviously super excited. Took a lot of thought after last year. Definitely didn't go the way I wanted with my knee and my ankle and stuff. So a lot of prayer and consulting with my team and family and stuff and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I thought it was the right decision or the best decision for me to be able to come back and give it one more go. So I'm super excited for the opportunity to be back. The coaches were super grateful and allowed me to come back rather than just passing on me and let me kind of graduate and move on with my life. But here I am. I made the transition down to 149 from 157, so I'm gonna give that my best go.
Jason, if you want to start us off.
Yeah, Cody, and looking at the schedule, because you know, it's right there in front of everybody's mind, because you've got matches coming up in about a week. But when you make the decision to come back and then you see the schedule come out, is there any one opponent you're looking to see the most this year? You see, you've got Cornell there, obviously you got Carolina, you got Vegas, but is there anybody you're just chomping at the bit to get your hands on this year?
Honestly, I would just say I haven't really put that much thought into it. I'm trying to stay off of social media, trying not to play into the antics or anything like that. I'm just trying to focus on what I'm good at. Take every match and just stay consistent, not put someone on a pedestal. And we're all human, so I'm going to strap it up, get out there, and let it fly.
When it comes to the weight, what have you done in this off season to manage the weight? Because that's what it is now. It's not necessarily cutting weight anymore. It's weight management. So, you know, when do you start your descent? What's your diet like? I mean, how has it been for you to try to maintain this weight going into the season?
Yeah, so I started back in around April, starting my gradual descent down, because I was walking around about between 68 and 70 when I was making 57. So it was a little bit different, but I've had people like John, who was huge for the weight class, kind of give me tips and stuff. I got some awesome NIL deal with Clean Eats where I get 7 meals a week. So it's perfect. I get them sponsoring me, perfect for my descent down and managing my weight. I will say once I get down to about 53, anything below that gets a little tough for me. My legs start to feel a little lethargic, but you know, you just got to put on that game face and go. It doesn't really matter how I feel, because my opponent definitely doesn't care. So, you know, just being a gamer at the end of the day and trying to focus on that.
Originally from the South myself, I love the cooking. My mom just came out from the South, brought some grits with her, so I'm sitting there just missing that Southern cuisine. But what's the one food you hate giving up each wrestling season because you just love it so much?
For me, it's definitely got to be some baby back ribs. I'm a big barbecue fan, but mainly though, it's not really a food. It's more of a dessert for me. Giving up ice cream and candy's been huge for me, but it has helped me out in the long run. I do feel much better when I'm wrestling now.
I'm good, and go ahead.
Hey, Cody, how you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You spoke about the NIL deal with Clean Eats. You know, what's that process been for you? It's a very new thing to mid-major programs, new thing to the entire country. You know, just what's the NIL process been like for you, and what do you hope for it going for this year?
Yeah, so obviously shout out to Clean Eats and those guys over there. They give me an awesome opportunity. I kind of followed up with John and Caleb from last year, so it was kind of very easy for me to fall into. But it's basically a handshake and say, hey, this is what, you know, I come in for my meals. They're gracious enough to give me the meals for free. I take a picture of my meals, post it on social medias, basically saying, hey, you guys, like, go check them out, dude. They got awesome choices. And I, you know, try and take pictures of that, show what I'm doing for them. So it's awesome to be able to have an NIL deal. And I think for, you know, places like us with mid majors and stuff like that, this is huge because, you know, we never thought this would ever be possible.
You're one of the oldest guys on the roster, if not the oldest, you know, going into your 7th year. Is it, are you taking a leadership position? Or are you handing it off to other guys like Jacob Sartorio, John Carter, who are also seniors? You know, what's your role like in the locker room?
Yeah, so the past couple of years, I've been kind of in a leadership roles, but I think a lot of the main focus is on me now because we don't have people like Will Formato or John, Chopper, people like that anymore. So a lot of the team rely on me for that kind of stuff. So I've had to step up and be more of a vocal leader this year, which I'm not used to doing. I'm more lead by example, kind of just put my head down and grind and let people see that, and that kind of be my leadership style. But I've tried to step in and be more vocal at the end of practices, talk to the team and stuff before we break it down. So it has been a bit of a transition for me, but I'm also kind of a democratic leader too. So I kind of let other people take the role too. Whoever kind of wants to step up and fill the shoes is welcome to do so as well.
Can you tell us about your recovery process? Because you missed the second half of the season. You just want to walk us through that?
Yeah, so not gonna lie, I kind of rushed with my knee and meniscus at the beginning. I came back and wrestled Queens just to get myself ready for the scuffle. And at the scuffle, in my placement match, or in the blood round, I fractured or broke off some bones in my ankle wrestling one of the Oklahoma State kids. And it was kind of devastating for me because I knew that was it. The surgery was going to be a bit of a process, and it still has been because there's been some complications with that after with the recovery and everything. But I think now I'm getting back to 100% now, and I'm excited. But that process there for a long time I was in a dark place, and it was tough for me there for a while. But I put my faith in God, and He kind of brought me through it and everything like that. So all the glory to Him.
You spoke about it was a lot of prayer and a lot of talk with your family and your teammates. What was the main thing driving you to come back for your seventh year?
The goal from the beginning of my career, ever since I was a little kid, it's every kid's dream to be a Division I All-American or national champion. So I've never put that goal on the back burner. It always stays in the front of my mind. I have it written down in my locker. I see that every single day. So for me, that was the main drive to come back, is that I believe that at 149 pounds, I can be an All-American or national champion.
I'm excited for a new season. I got thrown into the lineup, last year, and I think it's a big learning experience for me. Like closer towards the end of the season, I started to feel really more comfortable. I started, I stopped wondering if I was ready or not, and I started to feel like I was, ready. And, I still think I'm feeding off that from last year. I still, coming in confident and just ready to go. I did a lot of work over the summer, and, I think my skills are better than what they were last year. So that just excites me to see how I'm doing against other people and see how much I've improved over the summer.
Looking at last year where you touched on being thrust in the lineup and going through the season, and a lot of the numbers saying, okay, you were probably in line to get an at-large, You don't get the at-large bid, then you get put in there as the alternate. Talk us through the emotions about that. That timeline between man to all right.
Well, yeah, I was sitting in class, and I got a text saying I was in the tournament, and I was really excited. I texted my family and told them about it. But, I still trained, as if I was going the whole time, because, there was a chance. So, I just kind of went with that. And, I was ready for it. I was excited, though. It was a blessing for sure.
When you look at, your teammates, very Southern oriented team, they're Southern oriented roster, but you're a North Carolina kid. So when you go out there with the big A on your chest, you're representing App State, but you're also representing the state where the school resides. And what's it like to represent North Carolina out there on the mat for App State?
It actually means a lot to me. Our coach is from North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina, and I know there's a lot of guys that, I get texts all the time from North Carolina kids texting me, like telling me good stuff, congratulating me on wins and stuff. So, at first I was like, I don't know how much people are really paying attention. And then, I started to notice that people are paying attention, and people notice. And, it just really means a lot just being from here and being able to compete here. It's more personal, I think, than just going, just not being from the state and being able to compete here.
When you look at the schedule, what are you most excited to see? Going to Vegas this year, you got obviously Cornell coming in. Anything that's got you amped up?
Well, I'm just amped up to get opportunity to wrestle the best guys. I enjoy a tough schedule, and it's just really it's fun to wrestle the best guys, and I think our schedule gives us that opportunity, and it also gives us opportunity to see where we're at when we wrestle those guys. So, I mean, it's always good to see them before you get to the national tournament, and it excites me that our schedule gives us that opportunity.
Go ahead, Trey.
Hey, Ethan, how you doing?
Good.
You talked about being a North Carolina kid. What does it mean to you to play Duke, UNC, NC State, even a Virginia Tech? Growing up, you see these ACC schools, you see them. What does it mean to you being a North Carolina kid playing these schools?
It means a lot, because when I was coming up and getting recruited and stuff, I wasn't super highly recruited from a lot of these other North Carolina schools, which, are bigger than us. And so, I mean, it's really fun to me being able to compete against those schools because, App really was interested in me, and, it made it really personal for me. But yeah, I think from where I'm at now, from when I was in high school and looked up to those schools and stuff, now I just see them as equal, and I just get excited to compete against them.
You had a very good summer. You were finalist at U23 Nationals. How's your summer been? How's the progress been? Coming off of a very great season that you just came off of.
It's been pretty good. I really just tried to, take things slow and really see where I needed to improve on, and just stay in positions that wrestling positions that I struggled in during the year. And that's really just been my big focus.
Yeah, I'm just excited to compete and try to score as much points as possible and have fun this year. And yeah.
Short, simple, to the point. Question we've asked a lot of your teammates. There are a lot of wrestlers from down south, but you're not from down south. So let's first talk about that adjustment over the last several years to life in Boone. What's it been like to have the opportunity to come down and wrestle in Boone, and then the adaptation to Southern living?
Yeah, it's Boone's been good to me. So I'm from New York originally, and I'm in a valley, so I have lots of mountains there too. So it's kind of similar, but yeah, I guess.
Well, we look at your performances last year. That second half of the season, you weren't taking bad losses. Everybody that you didn't get your hand raised against was a quality opponent. When you look back at your performances, what are you going to try to improve upon most to say, all right, I'm not going to lose those close matches to those good guys. I'm going to be beating those guys, and then putting myself in a position to be on the podium come March.
Yeah, this summer I really honed up on focusing on some scrambling positions on my feet, and just getting out of bottom as quick as possible, and really just learning how to transition after getting a takedown to a nice solid ride. And I feel like those will help me out a lot more.
One of your losses last year in dual meets was to Austin O'Connor guy, and ended up with a pretty solid career down the road in Chapel Hill. What do you get from those matches with those guys that have been there, that have been on the top of the podium, that are just grinders and fighters? I mean, the adage is you learn a lot more from a loss than you do a win. What do you learn from matches like that?
Yeah, wrestling him, I learned a lot. Like, just rewatching that match, you can really tell like why he's good, because he focuses on the areas where he's good and wrestles where he's good at. So that was one takeaway I got from that match.
When you look at the team around you, how are you guys feed off each other? Where do you draw your inspiration from your teammates from, whether you're in practice or in a dual meet or in a tournament?
whether it's in practice or tournament, like everybody just kind of motivates me. Like in practice, if I give up a point, like I want to score that next point on them. And if like say Cody Bond gets a big win, it's gonna amp me up.
When it comes time to wrestle March Kansas City this year, you know, the goals, as we've heard your teammates echo, is, you know, to be an All-American, be a national champion. What are some short-term goals that you're setting for this season that are going to help you attain those larger goals?
Yeah. For me, I guess a short-term goal would be I want to get the first takedown in every match and get up in 30 seconds in every match when I go down. And I want to win, of course, as much as possible, like win the Keystone, win Vegas. And yeah.
Hey, Tommy, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. You mentioned Vegas, you know, or Keystone, or even the Southern Scuffle. Excuse me. You know, where are you most excited to travel to this year?
Uh, Probably Vegas. It's a cool atmosphere. I was excited last year to go and place there, and it's just a real cool tournament. You get to go against the top guys in the country, and it really tests where you're at.
You know, what does it mean to you to be named a preseason All-SoCon wrestler?
It means a lot. It's cool to see that, I guess.
You know, you being an All-SoCon wrestler, you were an NCAA qualifier. You know, those last 10 matches you put up 100, almost 140 points on all your opponents. You know, do you focus on giving some young guys some tips? Do you kind of take some guys under your wing?
Yeah, I've been trying to help out with Jeremiah Price a lot. Me and him been wrestling, and a lot of the times after he comes up to me and asks me like, see any main points I can work on and stuff, and we talk about it and we work on it there.
You mentioned, you know, when Cody Bond gets a big win, it hypes you up. Do you and Cody have a close-knit relationship? Are you guys good friends?
Yeah, me and him are close. We're he's probably my number one partner to go with. He's the one I have the most fun with wrestling, and yeah.
What did it mean to you for him to come back for a seventh year?
It was exciting because there's just one more great partner in the room to push me and make me better.